Good morning and welcome to ABC in the Morning live on ABC News GH with me, ABENA MANTE. It's a pleasure to come your way today also with ABC in the Morning. It's a fine Friday morning. It's the 12th day of December 2025. 12 days out of December already. And so, in a few weeks' time, it will be Christmas. I hope you're gearing up for Christmas. You're putting yourselves together. You're working all of your last-minute work so that when you go for the Christmas break, you can really spend uninterrupted time with your friends, with your loved ones, ultimately with your family. Today is a beautiful day, and I'll remind you of what I always tell you, to keep your head up. Please, do not be cast down. Just keep your head up. Keep faith alive, keep hope alive, and do not relent in your pursuit of happiness. It's very, very important that as a person, you keep your head up high, okay? And so I'll remind you of that as we get ready for the festive season. Today we have a lot for you on ABC in the morning. On our front story, we'll take a look at Parliament. Parliament has passed a bill that will back free tertiary education for persons with disabilities and persons with special needs. Isn't this a good news? It is, isn't it? We'll have conversations with them, with the persons with disabilities, the Federation of Persons with Disabilities, and appreciate where this conversation is going. But a bill has been passed, a good one at that. And also on our main discussion, have so many conversations. Today on the main discussion, we will be speaking with Professor Titus Bayo, the MP for Lambushi. We'll speak with Dr. Dixon Adomako-Kisi, who is the former MP for Anyaso Tum. We'll also speak with Dr. Samuel Lefie, a political scientist. And we'll be looking at the OSP bill. You know that the Majority Leader Mahama Yaga and Majority Chief Whip Roxanne Nelson Dafiameto had sought to push a private member's bill for the scrapping of the office of the Special Prosecutor. President Mahama is asking that they withdraw the bill. Some say that the president is overreaching, he's overstepping his boundaries as the head of the executive. We will look at that conversation. Also look at the Pandai parliamentary rerun. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, former flag bearer of the NPP, says that the current government is undermining our democracy. All of these things that we are seeing is in a bid to undermine the democracy. And so we'll look at this conversation. And Parliament is also passing a bill to legalize Okada motor riders in the country. And so we'll have conversations around that today. Today we'll also bring you ABC Speaks, where we'll lay down some facts for you to also appreciate. We'll bring you the latest in the world of sports, and you don't want to miss out on that at all, because we know today there will be build up, and so would love to bring you the world of sports. And also we'll open the phone lines, my very favorite part of the show, where you can call and share your thoughts with us on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. You call us and you share your thoughts with us. And we have executive interview. You know that executive interview is that part of the show where we talk about the ventures that you have entered into, the programs you are holding. And so today we'll bring you executive interview on the Asanka Festival. We have these and many for you here on ABC in the morning, and I can't say thank you enough that you have joined us today on the show. If you're leaving home, you can still catch the show live on Facebook and on YouTube, where we are streaming the show ABC News GH, ABC News GH. And so if you have not liked our Facebook page yet, kindly do so. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly do so. You can also interact with us via our socials on X, on Instagram, and on TikTok at ABC News GH _ at ABC News GH _ You can catch snippets of the show on these platforms and appreciate all of the conversations we are having here today. It's going to be a great day, so stick and stay with us. Right after this break, I'll bring you the front story.
onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper, and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenina da da da. So pa mediane no abin. Come on, Gino, do your magic. And papa no kunu abefi.
Tasty magic.
And your daddy trying to kiss keke.
Gino magic pepper and onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us here on ABC in the morning, right here on ABC News GH. On our front story, we take a look at the education sector. Parliament has passed a bill, the Ghana Education Trust Fund Amendment Bill 2025. This bill, the passing of this bill, cements the legal backing for several key educational policies, and most notably the provision for free tertiary education for persons with disabilities and free education for persons with special needs. The bill was passed yesterday, Thursday, December 11, 2025. And this is a significant legislative victory, as many would call it, for social inclusion and access to education in Ghana. It's very important that nothing stands in the way of anybody who wants to access education. This will transform our policy commitments as a country into legally protected entitlements. This way, the bill protects persons with disabilities and persons with special needs. The bill will also back the free senior high school policy. What is the primary objective of this amendment bill? The Get Fund Amendment Bill 2025 is to adjust the original Get Fund Act 2000, that is Act 581, to align with the fund's legal mandate with this government's policies or this government's decisions. And how is it aligning with government's educational policies? It's doing so by including certain factors that we will take a look at. Let's take a look at the things that it aligns with. One, free SHS funding. Here, the amendment ensures that there is that the policy receives continuous and sustainable funding support directly from Get Fund. And so now free SHS is going to receive funding and support directly from Get Fund. For the tertiary education for persons with disabilities, the provision formally mandates the state to bear the full cost of tertiary education for all eligible persons with disabilities, eliminating the barrier that was once in their way when it came to accessing education, accessing higher learning. Also, for persons with special needs, this is what this amendment to the Get Fund bill does. It guarantees free education for persons with special needs across all levels, right from basic to the tertiary level. And it ensures that specialized institutions and supportive learning environments are adequately resourced to serve this group. Very important. This legislation also changes the socio-economic impact on persons with disabilities. You look into our country, and people who fall within this demographic, persons with disabilities, are very much underserved. They are receiving the shorter end of the stick. And so with this legislation, it creates equity. It puts them on a stronger footing, on a better footing when it comes to accessing various aspects of our socioeconomic lives as a people. Let's take a look at data from the Ghana Statistical Service, which indicates that persons with disabilities constitute a significant portion of the population. Yet, when it comes to educational reach, it is quite low. Let's have some conversation. Joseph Achuhomaji is the national president for the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, my dear lady. Good morning to your viewers and listeners as well.
Great. Thank you for speaking with us this morning. By passing this bill, Parliament passing this bill to protect persons with disabilities and persons with special needs, how do you receive this as a group?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. Yeah, this bill has been in existence for almost 15 years now, since 2006. However, the bill, we need to re-enact it or amend it to fall in line with United Nations Convention on the Right of Persons with Disabilities. So we are working on the re-enactment. Since last Parliament, we couldn't pass it last Parliament. But this Parliament, let me take this opportunity to thank His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama for his commitment to make sure that this bill is passed into act or is reenacted. If you recall, during the SONA in somewhere March, he made a promise to pass it. 24th October this year, also when he launched the free tertiary education for persons with disability, he repeated the promise. So we really appreciate his commitment to champion the cause of persons with disability in Ghana, and also to make sure that this bill is passed. So, and again, let me also appreciate the effort the gender minister is doing, who is the sector minister. The effort is putting in place to ensure that President's promise to persons with disability in Ghana is fulfilled. So they are working on it, and we are all working together to pass this bill. I hope that by God's grace, when the bill gets to cabinet, it will fast track it, they will fast track it, and then it get to parliament for the passage. So I want to appreciate and acknowledge all the efforts.
Mr. Hubaji, the bill has been passed. It has been passed by Parliament.
No, not yet. It has been passed, but we are making an amendment. So the amendment that is in place now. It's an old act passed in 2006. But now what we are doing, we are going to reenact it. We are making some amendments. So it has become a bill again. And now it's going through the process again for the passage. That's where we are.
How do you see this bill helping persons with disabilities and persons with special needs when it comes to attaining higher forms of education? Seen as when it comes to distribution of education, persons that fall within this demographic have been very much underserved.
Yes, thank you very much. You know, in Ghana, the law, we believe in rule of law in Ghana. So every sector, every action, every activity must be backed by law. If you are doing something and there is no law behind it, what are you going to reference to it? Then you have no standing. So the bill, if it is passed, is going to strengthen the advocacy activities of the president and also empower all stakeholders, government agencies, private agencies, or private institutions, government institutions, individuals, the entire society, to enjoin them to fulfill the aspirations and the activities of persons with disabilities in Ghana. But if there's no law, then we have nothing to stand on to do our advocacy work to champion the cause of persons with disabilities in Ghana. So it's not going to strengthen how the educational systems must run for persons with disability to benefit persons with disability, how services should be provided in health sector, employment, etc., social protection sector. So the bill, if it is passed, is going to protect the welfare, protect the rights of persons with disability in Ghana. You know, disability issues are human rights issues.
Mr. Obaji, the bill we are talking about this morning here on ABC in the morning is the Get Fund Amendment Bill. The Get Fund Amendment Bill 2025, which is opening it up.
I thought you didn't clarify it for me. I thought you were talking about the reenacting of disability law.
Pardon us. Today we are looking at the education aspect. It is why I'm centering on education. Okay. Now that this Get Fund 2025 has been passed, how does this affect the persons with disabilities within this country, seen as you are woefully underserved when it comes to attaining higher heights of education?
Yes. Sorry about that, because I didn't get the clarification from the very beginning.
Pardon.
Yeah, the Get Fund bill, let me also take this opportunity to acknowledge the role and the effort the Minister of Education is doing. That's Honorable ABENA Idrisu. He is the sector minister. The Get Fund bill is going to help increasing access for persons with disability to education. The bill is requesting the Get Fund to increase budgetary allocation to support educational process or educational package for persons with disability at the basic level, secondary level, and the tertiary level. So it's actually going to open the doors for to increase access for persons with disability in Ghana as far as education is concerned. You know, when our students get admission, especially in tertiary education, they have a problem with paying school fees. Okay. Recently, the minister has announced the increment in the feeding grant for special schools from 8 series to 15 series per student. We appreciate that. We are most grateful to them, to the minister and to His Excellency, the President, for this good vision and this good package for our students. So it's actually going to help our students to protect them and increase access to education for persons with disability and to facilitate educational process for our people. So that they will go through the system, become a responsible citizen tomorrow, and also to themselves and to the nation. You know, education is a tool for human capital development. So that's what is going to help our people to do and open the doors for employment. So they become self-reliant in Ghana and feed themselves, feed their family, and contribute their quota to national development. So it's a very, very important bill, and we appreciate the role the minister is playing in this space. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, now that this bill has been passed, how are you, as an organization, as a federation, going to organize yourselves in order to whip up interest also within your members? We understand that when something perpetuates for a while, it becomes your reality, and then it kind of boxes you in a small place. And so now that things have been opened up, how are you as a federation going to organize yourself so that you can also reach for the skies?
Yeah, thank you very much. What we are going to do is to also embark on sensitization of our members on the content of the bill, so they know, or on the law, so they know the content of the law, and now know what the law expects the service providers to do. There are people, if they know the content, then they will access it. I think if they don't know, they can't access the services or whatever the bill is giving us. So we will embark on sensitization for our people. And also, we are also going to use it to engage the policymakers, the service providers. That is what the law is saying. And you are enjoined by the law to provide ABCD for persons with disability in that space, on the education space. So it's going to help us a lot. So GFD, or Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, we have a responsibility to embark on a vigorous advocacy campaign as far as this law is concerned. So that's what we are going to do moving forward, and also sensitize the general public. And the Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations alone cannot do it. So we are also going to appeal to other stakeholders, partners, also to support us in this advocacy space, so that we can champion the cause of persons with disability when it comes to education.
What are some of the hindrances within our educational facilities, our schools, that you would need for those hindrances or those barriers to be taken care of whilst we look to enrolling more persons with disabilities and special needs into our schools?
Thank you very much. Some of the barriers are what we call teaching and learning material, what we also call assistive technology. You know, persons with disabilities need a lot of assistive technology, PKS, hearing aid for the deaf, low vision, magnified glasses for low vision students, what we call computer, how do you call it? We have a computer with specialized equipment on it that will give you the voice. So those are the material equipment we need to learn. That's number one. Number two, the classroom infrastructure must be disability friendly, so that persons with disability can access the accommodation or the classroom, the school environment, etc., etc. So all those things are hindrances. Number three, like we said, paying of school fees, etc., etc., is a hindrance. Most of our parents are not able to pay school fees, and this bill or this law is coming to remove the financial barrier, so that our people can have access to education free of charge, and that's what the act is seeking to do. So and again, then we also sensitize. This bill is also trying to say that parents who come now that you don't have, now that this law is going to provide financial resources, then it's also to lessen the burden of our parents, so that our parents also have the opportunity to bring our children to school, so that our children can also benefit from the education system. So these are some of the barriers they are, and this act is coming to remove those barriers and then give our people opportunity to access education in Ghana. And we are most grateful to the minister and to the president as well.
Mr. Omaji, you talk about the Disability Act. Now, give us into details what you expect this act that will be amended, or that you're looking forward to its amendment to do for persons with disabilities. Oh, we have lost Joseph Achuhomaji, the national president for the Ghana Federation of Disability Organization. We will do all to establish contact with him better so we can speak with him. He is very much grateful to the Minister for Education for the Get Fund bill. Hello, sir. Thank you again for your time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, I was asking about the Disability Act. You are quite passionate about this act. What are your expectations for its amendment?
Yes, our expectation is that, like I said, the president is committed to the passage of this act because he has made several promises, and we have also talked to the minister. We have engaged the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and she's also very, very committed to make sure that it is passed to fulfill the promises by the president. So our expectation is that by next year, somewhere by next year, if this bill or the disability bill should be reenacted into law, so that we can use it again for advocacy campaign and strengthen the right of persons with disability in Ghana. Both the president and the minister, we have engaged them, and the minister is also very, very serious, taking a lot of steps to ensure that it is passed. We appreciate it, and we are going to collaborate with the minister and for that matter, the Minister of Gender, to ensure that this bill is passed. So that's our expectation. But God willing, next year, by June thereabout, we hope it should be passed. That's our expectation.
For persons with disabilities in the country and persons with special needs, how have your lives been so far? Are public spaces accessible enough for you? Since we started raising concerns about persons with disabilities and the barriers you face, have things gotten better?
Yeah, our life, even though we appreciate the fact that previous or government upon government, they have been playing their role, and other Ghanaian, the entire Ghanaian public has also been playing their role to support persons with disabilities. However, our life has been very miserable over the period because we will have not been getting the needed attention that we deserve. But now let me take this opportunity again to commend this current administration. You see that they are clearly demonstrating a very high level of commitment to support us. The day if you remember, at the SONA, when the president again delivered the SONA February, March this year, he made about 5 promises. One, he made a promise of increasing common fund from 3% to 5%. That thing has been fulfilled in this current budget. And we appreciate that from the president. We are most grateful to the president. The president has also promised that every public institution or private, they should be given a quota of 5% employment for persons with disability. He also promised that the women's bank that the NDC has promised women, that women with disability should benefit from that. And when we also had the launch on 24th October this year for the free education for persons with disability, the president made a lot of promises, about 5 or 6 or 7 of them, and I've mentioned some of them already because not of time I can't mention all. And he's saying that his ministers must comply with all this and make sure they fulfill all these promises. And the ministers are working on that. So if by God's grace all these promises are fulfilled, then our lot will be increased, our lot will be better. So we are grateful to the president, and we pray that his ministers and the other sector ministers and other sector agencies will take the promises that the president made on board and make sure that these promises are fulfilled to improve upon the lack of persons with disability in Ghana. And we are most grateful to them. And Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations, we are ready to collaborate with all the agencies and to ensure that all the promises the president made are fulfilled in order to improve upon the living condition of persons with disability in Ghana.
Okay. Finally, before you go, we still see some persons with disabilities in traffic on our roads begging for alms. The most popular explanation for it is that there are no jobs for them to do. There are no jobs that are available for them to use their skill sets for. As a federation, do you receive these kind of concerns, and what are your long-term plans to addressing these, seeing as it poses a very threatening risk to their lives, having to walk through or move through traffic begging for alms?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, we are disturbed about this phenomenon of begging on the street because it undermines human dignity. So we don't support. However, if the person is also not provided with livelihood, how can he survive? You see, so sometimes even though we don't like it, we also don't know how to tell them don't do it because they must survive. And it's the responsibility of the state to provide livelihood, whatever for them. So that's why I'm commending this government, because just 3rd December, when we celebrated International Disability Day, Ministry of Communication came to promise that the coda training, the IT training, the NDC promise for 1 million youth. They are giving 50,000 opportunities to persons with disability. So these are some of the opportunities we welcome. So we are going to engage the minister so that this opportunity is given to our people. Once they get this opportunity, then there will be no need for them to be on it, because they'll be engaged in skill training, etc., and get something doing to feed themselves. I'm sure they themselves on the street they're not happy that they are begging on the street. Nobody is proud of begging. So we appreciate the number of opportunities that this government is bringing us on board. Ours is to take advantage of it and give our people some space to operate from there. Then they can make a living, and then we remove them from the street.
Okay. Well, Mr. Omaji, thank you so much for your time this morning. We look forward to speaking with you more.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I want to take this opportunity again to thank the president and the government and all stakeholders for demonstrating high sense of commitment to support persons with disability in Ghana. There's a saying that no nation can develop if that nation does not bring along or improve upon, bring along its vulnerable people. So we thank the president and his appointees for all these laudable disabilities in Ghana, so that we can also become responsible citizens of this country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, and do enjoy your day. Joseph Achuhu Maji is the national president for the Ghana Federation of Disability Organization. That's all for Front Story this morning on ABC in the Morning. After this break, we'll bring you ABC Speaks. Sam Onyimabo is on hand to bring that. Stay with us.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Winning, easy. You know what be easy now? Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted granules. Just add water. Sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy. Made easy. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
Also available strawberry, coconut, and chocomore. This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine a sport without rules, a game without passion, an arena without chance. What drives the champions? What fuels the rivalry? What separates the winners from the rest in the world of sports?
Eugene Soti, your chief data guy on the Talking Point. On the African Tracker, I'll break down the performance of your favorite African players abroad, scrutinizing every detail and exploring the nuances and rules governing the game.
Meet us in your area for Area Take as we plug into sports perspective and hear your thoughts on every play of the game.
I'm James Markin, your go-to expert for everything local. I'll review the fixtures from the locker room to the pitch and from the management to the fans. I've got you covered.
Oh la la! Don't miss out on the double excitement. It's a fun pack, pulsating and complete wrap of everything in sports, from boxing to football, tennis, NBA and more. Sports World on ABC as every Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Sports World on ABC. Sports beyond borders.
Baby, we are second. So you remember to pon advert. Let's why you say advert no you to pon na kwara nim dia.
Do you need a media house to shoot quality TV ad for your company or products? Bring your company's vision to life.
And you make media house we am potential films. So you must so you must don't worry. So what you to pon e cost you through advert dia contact woman.
We help businesses build their brands.
Ukraine omodwuma hote omo quality can somebody try.
Reach their target audience and ultimately drive sales and revenue growth.
Omodwuma be new. Omodwuma is perfect. O contact no be good script about your product. Sound jet. They will give you quality pictures. How do you see it? How do you feel it? Wow. So picture unya ona no makasa. First number way 0541 16 28 28. I'm repeating 0541 16 28 28. Call them. Number one,
Potential Films. We believe in quality.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes.
He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used,
the more money he makes.
Oh yes. So, what are you waiting for?
Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money.
Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
This week's been wild. New releases dropping, artists blowing up, moments going crazy on the timeline. Don't worry, we've got you.
We pull the highlights, the date, the event, everything you need to know, and then the real fun starts.
The official top 10 songs running the streets, the airwaves, and your playlists.
If the culture is talking about it, we are counting it down.
This is the rundown.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to ABC Speaks here on ABC in the morning with me, Samuel Nyimabo. Today we are looking at a very rife conversation, one that the president has joined or issued a couple of statements in regards to that. We are looking at the office of the special prosecutor. Now, Kisi Ajabin and his office has come under some very intense scrutiny over the past few weeks, especially in relation to his investigation into the SML scandal, where former finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta is involved. There's been a lot of conversation around that. You remember his saga with lawyer Martin Kpebu that also raised a lot of eyeballs on him. And today, some are calling for the scrapping of the office. Others say that we should leave the office and take Kisi Ajabin out. So Ghana today stands at a defining moment in its long, exhausting fight against corruption. Now, few institutions symbolize the struggle, that struggle more than the office of the special prosecutor. And yet, barely a decade after its celebrated birth, Parliament is now openly debating whether the office of the special prosecutor should be dismantled. Altogether, this is not a small conversation. It is a national reckoning. The frustration is understandable. Now, the OSP's bold arrest that he's made, some disputed investigations and public clashes with some officials and arms of government have left many Ghanaians wondering whether the office has fulfilled its mission. Concerns about overreach, stalled prosecutions, diplomatic controversies, and perception of political tilt have fed a growing chorus calling the entire experiment a failure. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Scrapping the OSP may satisfy the anger of the moment, but it solves none of the underlying problems that gave birth to the office in the first place. Now, the OSP was created because the existing system lacked the independence and agility to confront grand corruption. Now, that reality has now changed. Now, abolishing the office or the institution now simply because of its early years of turbulence, raised a dangerous message that political pressure can kill accountability. Now, some have argued that the OSP should be scrapped and that the office should be merged with the Attorney General's office, right? Some have argued that the office should be merged with the Attorney General office. What many of those who have argued is that there is an overlapping function between the OSP and the Attorney General office. But we will look at the functions of the OSP as against the function of the Attorney General as stated in the Constitution to see whether there is an overlapping function. So I'll beg my producers to help me with the graphics. Now let's look at the office of the special, the Attorney General's office. What is the function of the Attorney General office as stated in Article 88 of the Constitution? Now, Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution, as you see on the screen and as you can also see, and behind me here says, now there shall be an Attorney General of Ghana who shall be Minister of States and the principal legal advisor to the government. It also states that the Attorney General shall discharge such other duties of a legal nature as may be referred or assigned to him by the President or imposed on him by this Constitution or any other law. Article 88.3 says, the Attorney General shall be responsible for the initiation and conduct of all prosecutions of criminal offenses. So listen to this. The Attorney General shall be responsible for the initiation and conduct of all prosecution of criminal justice, of criminal offenses. So there's no specific line for the Attorney General. So all criminal offenses. But when we get to the OSP's Act and we look at Act 959, the act that was passed in 2017 that promulgated the OSP, you will understand that the OSP specifically deals with corruption and corruption-related issues. But the Attorney General is responsible for all prosecutions of criminal offenses. It can be corruption-related, any other thing related, right? Now, let's look at the Attorney General's, the act that promulgates the Attorney General. Section 4 of Article 88 says, all offenses prosecuted in the name of the Republic of Ghana shall be at the suit of the Attorney General or any other person authorized by him in accordance with any law. So it means that the Attorney General, like the Article 88 section clause 1 says, he is the principal legal advisor to the government and he initiates all prosecutions. So the Attorney General is this. Every prosecution in the name of the Republic is the prerogative of the Attorney General. Now, Article 88.5 says the Attorney General shall be responsible for the institution and conduct of all civil cases on behalf of the state, and all civil proceedings against the state shall be instituted against the Attorney General as defendant. That's why everybody who is suing the state is suing the Attorney General. So you see that any suit that is going after the country or the state, you realize that it is the defendant in the case is the Attorney General, because he is the legal or the counsel for the state, as you will call it. Right now, Article 88.6 says the Attorney General shall have audience in all courts in Ghana. So these are the functions of the Attorney General. Let's go ahead and look at the office of the Special Prosecutor as stated in the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act 2017, Act 959. Now, this is the object of the office, right? Now, the object of the office is to first investigate and prosecute specific cases of alleged or suspected corruption and corruption-related offense. So this is the mandate of, as you might call it, or the core, the core of the OSP's office. It says that it is to investigate and prosecute specific cases of alleged and suspected corruption and corruption-related issues. So realize that the OSP's office has a specific mandate: corruption and corruption-related offenses. However, the Attorney General's office is not specific. It is general, including civil and criminal cases. Now, the OSP is also to recover the proceeds of corruption and corruption-related offenses and take steps to prevent corruption. So you realize that the office of the special prosecutor, as many have argued that, the OSP's office should be collapsed and merged to the Attorney General's office because they have an overlapping function and because their functions are synonymous, and then they are the same, and the OSP has not lived to expectations, which is true. OSP has not lived to the expectations of many, including myself and even the general public. But does that warrant the closure, the scrapping of the office? If it were be so, we would have asked the Parliament of Ghana to also shut down, because Parliament has failed us on countless occasions. The police, the Ghana Police Service, countless occasions. Even the judiciary has failed us on countless occasions. The presidency has failed us on countless occasions. Did we close them up or did we close them down? No. What we need is a reform. So closure will not solve the problem. Reform might. So let's look at the core functions. Let's go ahead and look at the functions of the OSP. Let me just take them quickly. Now look at the functions. To achieve the objective, which is the object, right? That is the objective of the OSP's office. To achieve the objectives, these are the functions. First, to investigate and prosecute cases of alleged or suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses under the Public Procurement Act. So specifically, procurement-related corruption cases, the OSP deals with that. Investigate and prosecute allegations of corruption and corruption-related offenses under the Criminal Offences Act 960 Act 29 involving public officers, politically exposed persons, and persons in private sector involved in the commission of the offense. This is also one of the functions of the OSP. So you realize that all the functions of the OSP relates to corruption and corruption-related issues. Investigate and prosecute alleged or suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses involving public officers, politically exposed persons, or persons in the private sector involved in the commission of the offenses under any other relevant law. Recover and manage proceeds of the corruption. So the OSP is also supposed to recover money and then disseminate information gathered in the course of investigation to competent authorities and other persons or the office considers appropriate in connection with the offenses specified in A and B. If I go round and go through the OSP's Act and all of that, you will realize that there is a difference between what the Attorney General office does and the OSP's office does. In fact, what the OSP does is corruption and corruption-related issues. Yes, the Attorney General before the OSP was also was investigating corruption and corruption-related issues, but not with the agility, not with the intent and the objective that are stated in the OSP's Act. So if we are scrapping all of this, are we creating another body? Or we are, as some have proposed, we merge it with the Attorney General's office and leave everything to the Attorney General, someone who is appointed and can be disappointed or removed by the president. How is a person going to be able to hold the sitting government accountable? So if the office of the special prosecutor is not delivering on its mandate, the question shouldn't be whether we should sack or scrap, or whether we should scrap. It should be what can we do to help the office perform its duties to the maximum. Now, so the better question is this: what will Ghana gain by destroying the OSP or scrapping the OSP? And what will it lose? Those pushing for the abolition argue that the OSP model is flawed beyond repair. In fact, some say that the Parliament did not have the mandate to even create the office of the special prosecutor. In fact, there is a case that has been filed in the court seeking some more interpretation in regards to that. He says Parliament did not have the right to promulgate this office. But much of what critics points to is procedural lapses, communication missteps, because people have accused Kisi Ajaben of being a social media or a media prosecutor and not the special prosecutor. Now, clashes with other agencies, or maybe clashes with some officials of the government. These are young symptoms of an evolving institution, not proof that the structure itself is doomed. Many of its shortcomings can be fixed with clear legal guardrails, stronger oversight, and a more transparent operational culture. On the other hand, abolishing the office risks collapsing ongoing investigations. In fact, the OSP has, over the years, over the month, given us update as to the number of investigations he's conducting. When we scrap the office in the interim, we might move the cases to the Attorney General's office or the EOCO or any other office, the CID and all of that. But will these investigations be able to continue the way they are going on? We will weaken public trust and reinforcing the cynical belief that anti-corruption only matters when it targets political opponents. For a country where public officials often operate with impunity, shutting down a specialized prosecutorial body could widen the gap between the power and accountability. The choice before Parliament then is fundamental. Does Ghana retreat or does it rebuild? I'm happy the president has joined the conversation, asking the parliamentarians, the majority leader and the majority whip, to withdraw the proposed bill to scrap the office. That issue is also being contended because some see it as the president dictating to another arm of government. But what for me it means is that the president has seen the usefulness or the need for this office. Now, a mature democracy does not discard institutions simply because they are inconvenient or imperfect. It reforms them, strengthens them, and demands better performance. Yes, the OSP should not be spared from accountability, neither should it be sacrificed on the altar of political expediency. Reform is not only the wiser choice, it is a patriotic one. If Ghana is serious about cleaning up corruption, then this is the moment to improve the OSP and not to bury it. Let's not bury the OSP. Let's reform it. Let's demand more from it. But scrapping it might widen the gap between accountability and power. So, ABENA, this is ABC Space. Adding a voice to the conversation around
the
OSP,
well,
mainly calling for the office to be scrapped.
Well, I appreciate
some saying that we should sack the prosecutor himself, Kisi Ajaben, and all of that. But what is evident, even from the government point of view, is that the president is taking the matter and he's saying that we need the office. But we don't
again,
need to scrap it. And we strongly believe that the office should be maintained.
I appreciate all of the opinions on this matter, the quarters it comes from. It's also good for our democracy. It's healthy because everybody gets to share their thoughts on the matter.
That is true.
Some people believe that both the SP and the OSP must go. Others say OSP must be there. It's just the SP have to change. And so we need to give it time. Like you said, sometimes other agencies have failed in their mandate, or they have not delivered
up to the
expectations of people, but we have not scrubbed it. So we should give the Office of the Special Prosecution some time. Beg your pardon, of the Special Prosecutor some time, so that we can see the work it will do. If it is about removing the Special Prosecutor, people have sent their petitions to the president.
So we wait to see what happens with the petitions.
Let's give it some time. However, I also appreciate the question you raised about the president weighing in. The fact I loved when the president talked about the matter. I did not expect that the president would direct or ask.
That's another conversation that needs to be had. Whether the president is
overreaching. I didn't think that he was going to ask them to withdraw it. I don't think maybe he's directing them. I'm sure he's trying to appeal to them. But I didn't even see it going to that end.
It's still some way. But let's see. I'm sure you have a conversation on that with the panel that you have on our main discussion. Yes. So you can pose that question to them. It is not in my bosom to respond to that. But ABENA, we hope that the office gets better.
Right.
And right things are done. Prosecutions are continue and go well, and we secure some sentencing. We need to see somebody paying hugely for crimes they've committed to the state, especially corruption-related issues.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But Sami, thank you for giving us what the act that guarantees the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and also what the act for the Attorney General's office also tells us, so that we can better appreciate where both of them are coming from. The President mentioned something. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has the security of tenure. And so already we have
sack him.
Yes, we have concerns about the Attorney General. But I mean, we'll talk about it some more, Sami. Thank you so much. So that's someone you might be bringing us. ABC Speaks today. We've looked at what the Office of the Special Prosecutor entails and what the Attorney General's office also entails. We'll have conversation on our main discussion after this break. Stay with us.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, come see what? Where this guy? My friend, see before.
It's the Telestar Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telestar Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telestar Play app to obtain and start winning in the Telestar Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is happening? If you're baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto etiaka. Inti ene, uno ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh no abeka. You did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Hey, so mommy, who is going to do my day jollof?
Oh, Kwame. You know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Chino jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof so cool.
Jollof so cool. Tasty, yeah.
what is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. You're still watching ABC in the morning. It is time for our main discussion, and we have so many conversations to look at today on the main discussion. Very key among them is President Mahama's request that the private members' bill seeking to repeal the office of the special prosecutor be withdrawn. We understand the majority leader and the majority chief whip advancing a private members' bill for the removal of the office of the special prosecutor or the repeal of that office. President Mahama already speaking with the Peace Council mentioned that this office is very important. The work that it does is very pertinent, and so we should give it some time. Now the president is requesting that this private members bill be withdrawn. But really, is that the way to go? Is the president not overstepping? Is the president not overstepping? Well, we'll look at this and many conversations today here on ABC in the morning. Joining us at the moment is Professor Titus Bayo. Professor Titus Bayo is the MP for Lambushi. He joins us. Good morning, Prof. Thank you for your time, sir.
Good morning, good morning to your viewers, and thank you for having me.
Well, we trust you're doing well.
I'm good by God's grace, and you?
I'm doing well, sir. We'll come to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, but let me start from the Pandai Parliamentary rerun. You belong to the majority part of Parliament, and you guys have been very, very vocal about this seat. When the Tamale High Court made the determination on the matter, your chief whip rose up and said that seat should be declared vacant. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, former flag bearer for the NPP, said that government is undermining Ghana's democracy. With how far this matter has come, don't you think that it would have been better to have let it go, or the path you have taken is the right path?
Well, interesting times. Let me say a good morning to the very good people of Lambuse for giving me the opportunity to represent them in the 9th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. I don't know if His Excellency, the former Vice President, is asking the nation to be lawless. I don't know. But if obeying the law is not what we advocate for, then I'm not sure what we should be doing as a nation. A nation without the rule of law is a lawless nation. And I don't think anybody wants to encourage that. What are the matters here? The fact is that a court of competent jurisdiction has declared the election null and void and has asked that there should be a rerun because the irregularities seen adduced, evidence of the irregularities adduced to the court in the view of the learned judge nullifies the entire election and says we should have a complete rerun. Is His Excellency the Vice President saying we should ignore the court's ruling? Or is anybody who is asking us saying that we should look at emotions, we should look at that and just let the lawlessness prevail? I don't think that's what we are asking for. And remember, we are talking about the sovereign will of a group of people. I often hear people say you have 189 seats. Why do you need more? Anyone making that argument has lost it. Has lost it because you are looking at national aggregate. But remember, we each represent a constituency, and the people express their will on who should represent them. And that will should not be subverted. So if the people have decided that they want Mr. A to be their representative in parliament, it doesn't matter how many seats that Mr. A's party already have in parliament.
Okay.
As far as those people are concerned, this is the person they want to represent them. So let's remember that behind each statistic we mention in parliament are people who queued up to vote, to express their desire on who should lead them, on who should represent them. So I think that argument is flawed ab initio. What we should be looking at is their merit in the decision of the court. And if there is, and the court has said that you can only use the legal processes to challenge that. But if you've not done that, and the court has not changed its decision, we must all obey the law. It's the former Chief Justice who said the law is the law. So why are we now not letting the law be the law?
We should let the law be the law. I'll come back to this. But joining us also is Dr. Samuel Efree, political scientist at Kumasi Technical University. Doc, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning.
Well, Doc, I'll come back to you and I'll pick your thoughts very soon. But let me take an extra thought from Professor Titus Bayu. Prof, the concern that some have raised is that your penchant for seats is now worrying. It's now raising eyebrows that the minority, and by extension, the NDC or government, beg your pardon, the majority by the extension, NDC or the government, may have some ulterior motive for which they would stop whilst they could. If you hear concerns like this, doesn't it give you a cause to pause and re-look at the situation, especially the kind of perception that Ghanaians are cultivating concerning you in Parliament?
All right. So I will ask anyone who has this concern another question. So far, how have we used that majority? Have we given any reason for anyone to be concerned? You see, let's not be misled into believing the propaganda of a few people. I mean, there is that fear that, maybe when we get that majority, His Excellency will change the constitution. The president has declared it on the global stage that he has no interest in extending his tenure. He's someone who obeys the law. He has said it on the global stage. He said it in this country. He has told us severally, and we are all aware of this. So where from this propaganda? And how have we used the majority? Is it to the benefit of the Ghanaian or not? And so far, we have given a listening ear to our colleagues in the minority. We have welcomed them, and they have made their contributions. There are a few times they have obviously tried to obstruct government business by very despicable acts. But we have still prevailed and maintained our calm and ensure that we deliver what the Ghanaian need. The average Ghanaian today is not worried about how many seats someone has in parliament. The average Ghanaian today is looking at who is my MP representing me. My people of Lambuse want to know, is my MP working on our roads? Is he helping our healthcare? Is he advocating for the various things we are asking for? Their concern is not the national averages. They are looking at food on their table, whether they can afford foodstuff, whether they can, when they go to the market, they can buy something. They are looking at fuel costs, transportation charges. The importers, exporters are worried about the exchange rates. These are what Ghanaians are worried about, and not the national average. But let me emphasize again that when we look at the national picture, we always get it wrong. We are all there as representatives first of the people who selected us. So my people gave me close to 70% endorsement, 69% endorsement from Lambuse to go to parliament. Do you think they'll be happy if they got up one day and hear that someone else is representing them? Does it matter the numbers that are in Accra? No, as far as they are concerned, in Lambuse, they voted for me and they voted for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and they'll hold us accountable for what we promised them. So I think this is the direction we should be looking at. And anyone with unfounded fear, if we needed a two-third majority, we have it now. So it's not about getting a two-third majority. It's about ensuring that the right thing is done and that the sovereign will of a group of people expressed at the ballot is respected. Once we get it from that angle, then we will go back and see what did the majority of people in Pandai say. Did they want the NPP candidate or the NDC candidate? And obey that will. That's it.
Okay. Well, Prof, I will be coming back to you, and I would love to pick Dr. Samuel Efie's thoughts. But Doc, before I come to you, Dr. Dixon Adomako Kisi, former MP for Anyaso Utom, also joins. Doc, you're welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much.
All right. Dr. Friye, again, we come back to this conversation about Parliament. The former flag bearer for the NPP has weighed in on this conversation. He says that government and the EC are undermining our democracy. Isn't the EC only going according to what the courts are saying? The EC is sitting at its place. Parliament receives notice that a court says there should be a rerun of an election. Parliament declares the seats vacant, writes to EC that we need a representation and so conduct an election. EC has set a date for that election. How is this an undermining of our democracy?
Abena, thank you very much, and special greetings to your viewers and your listeners, and also my co-panelists. You know, when you listen to the issues that arose about there's what we call the EC and Parliament and Panda issue, you know, we have precedents. It's the precedent that is giving an indication about how things are being done or how people are being treated. You know, you have a lot of precedents, and I think what comes to mind is about the issue of Honorable Atukwesi, that is a deputy foreign minister, where all those things that ran through the court was the main issue that was to be go through the process before things were done rightly. So sometimes when this issue comes in, is because of precedent. That is what sometimes some of these things are being used to analyze the situation. But you know, you cannot begrudge Parliament because they are within some time to respond to what the EC. But you know, sometimes you also need to look at the whole picture. And it's quite unfortunate that even the time that they were supposed to hear about the stay of execution, the judge made it, I think the ruling to be on 18 December. You see, when it happens, you give room for perception, you give room for interpretation, and you cannot begrudge the former vice president for saying that because of the situation and how you make the analysis of it. You know, so you cannot say that the former vice president is saying that because when you look at how the system is, where now most of these that is the judiciary is being seen as a way of an infiltration by the government of the day of people that are affiliated. You can't just erode these perceptions. It is there. So sometimes some of these things give the narrative for us to conclude that the system is not being fair to the candidate, or maybe the MP, or maybe to what was done to previous situations. I quite agree to some extent that as that is the former speaker, the MP, that you know, it's quite that we have to look at the representative. But as time goes on, as you are doing to the others, you maybe can also turn back to you one day. We all live in a country that if you are not cautious, these MPs are positioned the position. Someone will be sick, someone maybe through whatever means will be off from the seat. So we have to tread cautiously so that we don't use the opportunity that we have to also disadvantage some seats or some MPs that are have some issues with their seats. That is their constituency. Now you can realize that if a case is sent to court for 41 polling stations, and at the end of the day, all the other 152 polling stations, 41 was sent to, and you say that we're supposed to run. So are you saying that the rest of the other polling stations are not credible? When you do that, then it may presuppose that a situation has been set up. So if we come to my constituency, and I will try to use maybe 3 or 4 bad situation, or create and something there, then I will send it to court. I use this as a way to convince the judge that we have to rerun all the police stations. So I think that the judiciary should also be cautious about some of these rulings and try to look at the situation for precedent's sake. Today it might be, maybe it can be your interest, but you have to be we have to be very careful. But politicians in general will tend to take an advantage of situations for their own interest.
Okay, well, Doc, thank you. Let me go to Dr. Dixon Adomakukisi. Doc, are you seeing this really as undermining our democracy? This issue that has come up, isn't the ECs in Parliament just doing their job?
So good morning, and I wish you all well, both listeners and my panelists. It's a very interesting turn of event, but let me start out with a few observations, and I think it's very important here. Starting from the judge's decision, okay, and I think Doc has expressed it. There were many polling stations. It was about 40 that were in contention. And what we've done is we've overturned valid votes cast by several individuals for reasons related to other polling stations where there were issues. And rumor has it that these issues cropped up really even after the vice president conceded, which means that those 40 polling stations, votes were even cast appropriately, except for the fact that during the counting or validation, there were malfeasance, which led to the annulment of those votes. Now, the judge's decision, for me, is worrisome in the sense that he's literally thrown out the rights of individuals whose votes were cast without issue. And that is where I'm very concerned. And it might seem okay for the NDC today, and it may not work out very well for them another day. I believe that in many elections, when there are non-issues, non-contest at several polling centers, it reminds me of the Ablekuma North, which was just quite recent. The judge decided that we should rerun at the centers where there were issues, not the entire Ablekuma North. Okay, and in this instance, the MPP make a case that looking at the numbers at the centers where there were issues, a rerun is not even necessary because the sum total of those polling centers will not amount to a change in the voter outcome. So if you look at it in those two ways, except for the fact that the NDC wants to tell me that all those who voted in those 40 polling centers are now ready to vote strictly and 100% for the NDC, which, I mean, mathematically is just not possible. So this overturn of many votes cast appropriately, counted appropriately, for me is troubling. Now, with regards to the constitutional mandate, in terms of the judgment made, and whether Parliament can interpret or misinterpret it, I think that one is not a huge deal. The Speaker, by virtue of being informed, has decisions that he's mandated to do. Likewise, the EC. And what is very crucial, which was a bit surprising, and let me put this out here, because of public perception and the idea that the Speaker of Parliament, in this instance, not being death of a member of Parliament, chooses to inform Electoral Commission that there's a vacant seat. I think that looking at the norm and how things have happened, because it's the same Speaker who will tell you that he's awaiting notice from the Electoral Commission to take a decision. This time around, the Speaker Parliament was overly excited to, as it is, rather inform the Electoral Commission, when in fact the Speaker also, I think, or Parliament was fully aware that the parties involved included the EC, who technically, one way or the other, must have been informed through the court. So I think that excitement, that rush to be the one seeming to be administratively proactive begs another question, and we need to understand that we're managing a democracy that needs to be protected. We need to understand that public perception matters in some of the decisions and how we manage ourselves, and for that matter, I'm deeply concerned, just as the National Security Minister in our administration said that judgments need to be careful and need to be wary of sentiments of the people, and I think that we've been taken for granted, and democracy at its core is supposed to be working for the downtrodden, those without voices being heard, and that is one thing that we need to guard. And should it be that even the MPP has 20 seats in Parliament, it wouldn't matter more so than the need for the ruling government to allow that 20 to have their voice heard. When the voices of the few or the downtrodden are not heard, or those who do not have are not heard, then you weaken the democracy and you weaken the whole process. And when a portion of this country gets disenfranchised, then we might as well say that we are in a chaotic situation where the rule of law has been bended, the rule of law has been, as it is, used to trample those who do not have a voice. And that is not what democracy is about. And for that reason, I think that, we were there before, where we had, 169, and, we got power drunk, overly excited, and our followers were with us, as in this case, where the NDC has over 169 are getting power drunk, blinded, and think that because their voters are with them and they are crashing every voice of the MPP in the minority, they seem to be very happy. But this path we've traveled before, and I'll only send a cautionary statement to the NDC that how you govern with power makes you a better government or an ordinary government. And in that sense, I'm challenging His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to be very cautious and work to protect the democracy that we have in this country, we may have erred, let me admit, when we were excited with our 169 in many instances. So the court cases, the bravado we had, the over exuberance we had. But where are we now? We are now scrambling for 7 seats and, now literally temporarily 86 seats. So, knowing the sophistication of the Ghanaian voters, as the Ghanaian adage says, yodum, 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 and that needs to be carefully thought through as a party.
Okay.
As it stands now, all the people might be very excited, but trust me, you need to be very mindful and careful of the power that you wield.
All right. Probably, finally on this matter from you, do you not fear that this issue may come back and bite you in some time to come? Since this conversation started, one thing stands paramount in the conversations. The majority, the NDC, should be careful the way they are conducting themselves concerning some seats in parliament, because it could come back and haunt them in future. Does this not cause you to take a step back?
All right. Let me respond by first making some comments on some of the issues raised by my co-panelists, and I'll come to your substantive question.
All right.
I take a portion from my colleague Dr. Dixon's statement that a portion of this country being disenfranchised. I like the statement, that particular phrase. Was Dr. Dixon in this country when the people of SAL had no representation for an entire parliamentary life? Were they not disenfranchised? Was it right? It was wrong. And if it was wrong then, it should be wrong now. So let's not be selective in what is right and what is wrong. And anybody is calling about lawlessness and being lawful, the evidence is to the contrary, that we have come from an almost lawless path, and we are trying to reset this country and put it on a very lawful trajectory. The relief sought by our party and our candidate, I also want to emphasize, was not only the 41 polling stations. And this error is being propagated and everybody is believing it. Because if it were so, no judge would just get up and annul the entire constituency results. The 41 polling station had peculiar problems, serious irregularities. But there was also a challenge of the collation process. And the total collation process is the entire constituency. And so if collation is done out of sight of another candidate, without his representative, without him being informed, being notified, and exception goes to sit somewhere, do a collation, figures are not tallying up. The judge sees with all these facts, makes a pronouncement that, look, the entire election must be rerun because the final collation itself was problematic. How then do we zoom in only on 41 and ask the judge to go and correct 41? Please, let's be seized with the facts, because the judge was seized with some facts to make that decision. If you are not seized with that, I think it's very difficult for us to make such commentary. The final one, on the posturing of Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament, the Clerk to Parliament, it's surprising. When we thought that the judge's ruling meant that the seat was vacant immediately, the Speaker ruled against us. We accepted it as law-abiding citizens. When he reminded all of us that there's a mandatory stay of execution for 7 days, whether you appeal or not. When that ruling was made, my colleagues hailed it. How then is it that the same Speaker who ruled and was welcomed now makes a decision, or Parliament now makes a decision, that having been properly served and the 7 days having elapsed, they should follow what the law says? How then do we judge that one not favorably?
Those who make the case, Prof, say that
yes,
Matthew Nyindam and his lawyers have elevated the matter to the Supreme Court, and so
yes.
for Parliament, you should have allowed the matter to have been exhausted at the Supreme Court, seeing as in about 4 days, on the 16th of December, Supreme Court will adjudicate on the matter. You should have waited for that time before writing to EC.
Parliament will be condoning illegality if they did that. The rules are clear that if you receive notice that a particular election need to be rerun, the entire constituency need to be rerun, you are to execute. Did you remember that even the candidates' lawyers were going to take the EC to court for contempt of court, for inaction, only to hear that the EC was actually acting? They actually filed a suit. I don't know if they've withdrawn it. That is what the fate of Parliament would have been. If Parliament would have sat in there, said they are waiting to hear what is happening in the judiciary. Once Parliament had been served by the judiciary, Parliament as an independent arm of government is expected to do what the law stipulates that they do. And that is what they did.
Okay.
By notifying the Electoral Commission that we have been instructed by the judiciary to rerun an entire constituency. By virtue of that instruction, that seat is vacant. So whatever, there are several legal precedents on this. When that final decision is made, if the Supreme Court, for instance, there's a certiorari set before the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court should quash all of that, it becomes binding.
Okay.
It becomes binding on all of us, and we all stand by it. If the Supreme Court rules on 14th and says everything that has happened, take it like it never happened, Honorable Nyindam is the MP, no one has a voice. If the Supreme Court rules that, okay, look, let's go on with the processes because the High Court decision was valid, we all go by it.
Okay.
But until that ruling, Parliament must live by what they have been instructed to do by the courts.
Okay. Prof, let's just move away from Panda and then look at something which is very pertinent to Parliament. Separation of powers, the executive, the judiciary, the legislature. 2 members of legislature have advanced a private members bill for the repeal of the office of the special prosecutor. It should be abolished. Your side in Parliament has been very vocal on the matter, your majority leader and your majority chief whip. Yesterday, President Mahama is requesting that this private members bill be withdrawn. Where then is the separation of powers? Is it that the legislature can be impressed upon by the executive to do the bidding of the executive? Is that what we are seeing?
Okay, so let me set some facts straight.
Okay.
They never filed that private members motion. It was in the draft state and they were planning to file it, that they were going to file a private members motion,
right,
that the or bill to repeal the Special Prosecutors Act that set up that office.
Right.
So it was never filed. Fundamental thing too is that we are in Parliament sponsored by parties. Our party, as of this time, is headed by the president, by the constitution of our party. If the party is in power, the president is the head of the party. If we are out of power, the national chairman leads the party. So once we are in power and we have a certain president, the president is the head of the party. The party never wrote to Parliament, and the president never wrote to Parliament to suspend it, because Parliament was not even seized with any bill. That's the first point. Parliament was not seized with any private members bill. Our leaders were contemplating on filing something. The leader of the party talks to his party faithfuls. This is not a parliamentary interaction. This is an intra-party communication. And we should separate it, because as much as our majority leader and his chief whip are members of the party contemplating an action they want to take in Parliament, which they have not yet filed before Parliament. It is a private consideration that they have within themselves. And as party people, if a leader of the party communicates to them I do not see anything wrong.
Well, let me read the statement from the presidency. Presidency says President John Dramani Mahama has requested the majority leader and majority chief whip in Parliament to withdraw the private members' bill tabled for the repeal for the act establishing the office of the special prosecutor. The president's request follows the public expression of support for the strengthening of the office of the special prosecutor. Prof.
Well, yeah, I do not know. I'll need to verify this, whether at the time, because what we know, and I have actually had interaction with the Committee for Private Members Bill, and at the time, the committee was not seized with any bill.
Well, but in any case, when parliamentarians enter into parliament, who are they holding to higher standards? The people or the party? So much so that the leader of the party can be able to impress upon them more than they would rather think about the people.
All right. So it was Speaker Mike Okwe who gave a defining ruling that parliamentarians must owe allegiance to the party that brought them. He gave a decisive ruling. In fact, it is for the reason why should you go to parliament on a particular party's ticket and decide to switch camp, you have to leave parliament and go and contest a new election. That is our law. That is how it's established. And that is what the rulings of the speaker has meant. That's the interpretation of it. And so you are there as a representative of the people, but you are there sponsored by a political party that took you there. And so, and the people voted for you on the ticket of that party. They did not vote for you as an independent candidate. They voted for you on the ticket of the party.
All right.
So you seek the interests of your people through the party that sent you there.
But looking at this letter from the seat of presidency to the majority chief whip and the majority leader, where are we seeing the separation of powers?
And I'm saying that let's not get things wrong. If the president had written to the clerk of parliament or to the speaker of parliament, he's writing to the officers of parliament to stop the officers of parliament from doing their work. He is writing to members of his party that his party has sponsored to parliament to do an act.
Okay.
That this is my considered view. And I think we should distinguish the two. There's a political scientist here. He should correct me.
Who I'm going to write after you land.
Exactly. He should correct me if I'm wrong. Per the current dispensation that we run, all members of parliament, if you are not an independent candidate, you are sponsored by a party.
Okay. Well,
should you go contrary to your party or you want to cross carpet to the other side, you must go out and come back in if you are able to win the election.
Okay.
That is fundamental. And the second thing is that I just want to conclude that let's be very cautious that if the president writes to our leader sitting cabinet, majority leader sitting cabinet, if the president communicates to him, he communicates to our chief whip, it is not the same as communicating to the institution of parliament.
All right.
The two are different.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your thoughts on the matter. Let me go to Dr. Samuel Efie. Doc, from where you sit and the lenses you're looking through, does this constitute precedent interfering in parliament, asking that or requesting that the majority leader and the majority chief whip withdraw this private members bill?
Well, ABENA, this demonstrates a kind of lack of cooperation or kind of government in mind. He's the president. President Mahama is the president of this country, and he has the responsibility to protect everyone and every institution or whatever has been given to him. And the president is being strategic here, meaning that, what brought this issue was due to Martin Pebble issue, with OSP confrontation about how things were, how he was arrested and that kind of thing. And you know that Martin Pebu is sympathetic to the NDC. So if this situation will make MPs to initiate a private bill to Parliament for the OSP to be scrapped or to be not to be in existence or whatever, then is given a political twist that because they have touched one of your sympathizers, it means that they are not fit for purpose as an institution. And you know, President Mahama want to fight corruption, or he's fighting corruption. And OSP is one of the institutions that is being used, and of which the president has even used a report of OSP to cancel the SML and GRA contract. So you cannot just make a conclusion easily that OSP and then a party member or a majority in Parliament, which the president is a party member, who is true that he's become a president, want to initiate this process that will have a long-term or some effect on the president. You know, don't forget that the MPP or the minority who accused the president of scrubbing or initiating or helping to remove OSP because in the near future was because they have able to have some confrontation with the OSP, they think that they might also head on to some members of the party in government now. So the president was being strategic, and at the same time, it also shows lack of consultation between party or even cabinet, because you can't be in parliament, a majority leader, a majority side, and think that you can initiate anything without the consultation of the government of the day of which your party is in power, because your decisions or what you send in also have a ripple effect or some kind of difficulties which may come out with some of these decisions. So there's a precedent that trying to let some members of their party, and it's quite remember that this shows an indication that some people in government or government institutions tend to do things without the approval of cabinet, of which some time ago the Minister for Communication, Felix Owusu-Kwakye, Honorable, was able to come up with certain kind of statement that people supposed to be very careful, especially the agencies and those that are involved, not to come up with certain kind of initiative without the cabinet approval. And this is one strong indication that this was not brought to cabinet. So you might think that it is interference in parliamentary or let's say separation of powers, but it was not at least it was not coordinated, or the president or maybe the executive that will have the branch of this decision or this kind of process will tend to sit aloof and look at these things to go on like that. And I also have an issue about how it was done, because it was supposed to be your own party members or maybe the majority. I think that you could have just called them close doors and then talk to them and say, no, hey, people or leader, I think that we need to do it. We need to do it this way. But coming out with a statement shows that kind of cooperation between the party in parliament and also the presidency. And here I think that it is political inclined, and the minority or the MPP would take President Mahama on if that decision was supposed to go through that. Maybe the president might think of not scrubbing the institution or the institution, but the person. That is why I believe that some petitions has been sent to the Chief Justice to look at how he's performing his functions or his responsibilities as assigned to him by the OSP. So maybe the president wants them to wait till maybe there's a change in the person involved rather than what's trapping the institution. That might be my view.
I'll come back to you and we look at the representation in Parliament based on what Prof. Titus Bayo mentioned about being in the House because of your on the back of your party. And so I'll pick your thoughts on that shortly after Dr. Adomako also weighs in on this conversation. Look, President Mahama requested, do you see it as an overreach?
First of all, I think that the NDC largely has an issue with public disclosures. And I've said this in many instances that they fail to recognize that once in power, your commentary has ripple effects. And for that reason, leaders need to be very cautious in their public disclosures. And I say this with the greatest of respect to the majority leadership, including Dafia Makor and Ayariga, in the sense that what they should have probably said was that they are in consultation with cabinet to give consideration to the entire removal of the office or just the individual. And that would have been an appropriate communication to the rest of the world. Their initial communication was inappropriate in the sense that, one, we've all come under private members bill, when we had the gay rights related matters. We know how that panned out. In the end, the presidency came out strongly in the sense that they felt that cabinet should have taken a decision, especially when it has impact on the consolidated fund. And the impact on the consolidated fund is either increasing the bill to the country or reducing the bill to the country. In this case, mind you, when we scrap the office, it rather presupposes that the country will make a gain or a loss. Now, if the Special Prosecutor's Office is supposed to go after people and recoup heavy amounts of money for the country, then you might see it as a loss to the country. On the other hand, if the office is working to no gains to the country, then we might say that we're running at a loss. So anything that would impact the consolidated fund largely rests in the bosom of the cabinet. And I think that our leadership in Parliament, knowing very well that once they are in that leadership position, and the fact that they sit in cabinet, and I'm saying that with regards to Ayariga, this should have been an indoor discussion before premature ejaculation, okay, or premature oration of their thoughts and intents. So that is where I stand with all of this. Granted, let me admit that based on the two OSPs we've had, I strongly think that the Attorney General should be allowed to do his job and should be empowered to do the same thing, which was literally, as it is, redirected to another office. And I'm guided by other jurisdictions and how they do it. The chief prosecutor of the country ought to be the Attorney General. And I strongly think that he should be empowered financially to become very much more independent of the executive, to be able to advise and make recommendations and then prosecute.
Okay. Well,
and I say this in the sense that if we don't have a firm grip on prosecution in this country, then corruption will continue to happen. Now, one other key thing that I needed to attend to with regards to Prof. Bayo's commentary.
Okay.
Some of us were so emboldened during our regime that when the regime, let me put it in concept or in context, when we felt that our finance minister needed to go, we stood literally on the brink of war with our party. And as very good parliamentarians who are the people's representative, if it so happens that your government is taking a stand that is incongruous and not for the best interest of Ghana, I beg to differ. I will for always request that parliamentarians represent their people. And when you do that so well, you may, at some point in time, go against your party's dictates. And that is what true parliamentary work is. Once you get into parliament through the conveyor belt of a party, you represent both parties or all people and not necessarily your party. You swear an allegiance not to party, but rather to the people you represent. And it's a very fine line between going against your party and doing what is right by the people you represent.
Okay.
And that needs special management, and it comes in many ways. Within the party, mind you, there will always be dissenting minds.
Okay.
And I think that needs to be guarded to help with the integrity of democracy in this country. So, Prof. Bayo, I'm with you to an extent, but we need to be guided by the fact that once the Speaker of Parliament gets sworn in, he's supposed to work for the office, not for his party. All members of Parliament, though there's a whip system, largely have to work for the best interest of Ghanaians, not strictly party.
Okay.
I would end my submissions.
All right. Dr. Friye, who do politicians, who do our parliamentarians owe their allegiance to? The party on whose back they stood for the elections, or the people who went to the polls and voted them into power?
What is happening, and so far what has been happening to our democracy due to party? Because, it's party that led them to become the MP. So technically or logically, they will be inclined to party interest. And that is what, and voters also voted for them based on party lines. So they are there for party. And people who voted for them voted because that party will ensure that their interest will be served. So they are there for party.
And so when we say that they are the people's representatives, we are actually saying that they are the party people's representatives. Is that what we are saying?
They are people represented through party. So now the party takes hold of everything.
Okay. All right.
It's the ideology when I think this democratic system where we let people to represent us, I think in our part of the world, we are not seeing that into because even if you may have your own interest as an individual or your constituency, you realize that the party interest becomes more paramount. And that is where, except that maybe the independent, even the independent MPs, they also have to align themselves to a party before they can operate within parliament. So our system is built in such a way that we cannot actually represent our people directly, but through a system that can be manipulated for the interest of those parties involved.
Okay. Well, finally, on the main discussion, we're looking at Parliament passing this Okada bill. We are looking at Parliament legalizing Okada. Probably, let me start with you. The Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nipe, has made a strong case for the legalization of Okada in the country. He gives, he says that it would decrease the rate of unemployment. Is Okada the way to go when we want to look at employment? And really, do we need to legalize this transport means in our country?
All right. I have very contrasting views on this issue.
Okay.
Initially, as a medical doctor, I was anti-legalization initially.
Okay.
Before I went to Parliament and before everything else, I felt, and this was because I was seeing the sheer number of trauma cases we are seeing at the emergencies, the extent of injuries, the worst of them being the pylon riders, usually not the Okada rider himself, but the passengers usually get more injured in the event of injuries, and the injuries can be very, very devastating. So I was really, really, really anti. But I have since changed my thinking on this.
Why have you?
And why so? Why so? Having traveled around the country and outside of the country, and seeing that whether we legalize it or not, this practice is with us. I am a rural member of parliament. In my constituency, several of my communities, there is no public means of transport between them except on the motorbikes. So there is no taxi, there is no trotro, there is nothing to move someone from Suke to Lambuse town, from Kochama village to the district capital, and all of that. So in such rural communities, it is perhaps the only means of transport for them. All right? Now, when you even come to the city, then I compare what I saw elsewhere. I was in Kigali in Rwanda. And in Rwanda, it's a well-licensed and regulated system. Every motorbike rider, commercial motorbike rider, wears a unique vest that identifies them. Every single rider and passenger uses a helmet. They obey at the traffic lights. They stop at red. They stop at the zebra crossing. And it's very well regulated. And this is an African country. I saw similar things in parts of China. And after all of this, my worldview is that, well, we could pretend that it doesn't exist and say we will not legalize it, we will criminalize it, and it will be there, and they'll be doing it unregulated. The lesser evil for me, then, is to legalize it. Without a law, you can technically not punish someone for an offense that is not codified in law. So let's put the law there, specify who can ride, the training they should have, the licensing regime, give them specific road traffic regulations. Drivers are punished because it is spelled out in a law that you cannot cross this way, you cannot cross this traffic light, you cannot do A, B, C, D. And there's no such law for Okada. So even if the police arrest an Okada rider, they are helpless because there's no law on which to charge them. So it is better we legalize it, provide that legal framework, regulatory framework to guide their activities and enforce the law. So I was in Parliament when we went through the bill consideration. I went through it, and I think I give it my 100% support. My only plea is that this bill, or now when it's assented to and becomes an act, should not be treated like many of our laws, where we pass beautiful laws but do not implement them.
Okay.
If we can implement them well, ensure that people of appropriate ages, we've given age limit, even height on who can be on it, and all of that, very detailed law. If we can engage the users, the passengers, and everybody, and train them, properly identify them, I think it will cause us less harm than we currently are having.
All right.
So it's not just the issue of employment, but we have to consider all of these other factors. So I fully endorse it, and I plead for proper implementation of it. And yesterday, I'll conclude on this as I beg permission to run off because I need to go into another meeting.
Right.
Yesterday, we had a bipartisan endorsement of this. Both sides agreed on the floor that the best way is to legalize it, regulate it, and ensure that they are practicing it safely. So I think it's a good way to go. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Prof. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We'll look forward to having you in studio to have some more discussions with you. Thank you, and do enjoy the day.
I will try. Thank you so much.
All right. Dr. Dixon Adomako, let me come to you, sir. Your colleague, medical professional, has given his reasons for endorsing this. He had his reservations, and now he agrees with it. Doc, where do you stand with this matter about legalizing Okada in Ghana?
I cannot discount the convenience of having deliveries by motorbikes. or transportation of people by motorbikes. I cannot discount it. I see it as, some addition to deliveries in this country, and also some improvement in terms of delivery service in this country. And I think that if we can regulate and improve how they go about their business, I'm all for it. Granted that we have about 20 to 40% transport drivers without license in this country, and as it stands, what are the checks and balances in the system? We have people driving super long hours, leading to accidents on our roads. So I'm in as much as we're doing this Okada arrangement, how are we strengthening the checks in the system for transport owners and transport, let me say, drivers of passengers? And that is where I'm even more interested, that the transportation minister should kindly revisit some of the bus drivers and what checks we are doing for them, and why policemen would see a drunk driver and literally allow them to carry on with passengers, and or a sleepy driver carrying on with passengers, leading to mayhem on our streets. So it comes in at a time of other major issues.
Okay.
And for me, in all of this, public safety is my biggest concern, and I think that we need to make public awareness on public safety on our roads very important.
Okay.
And to encourage our police service, who are the enforcers, to do the right thing instead of doing one city for your pocket and allowing for wrongful things to happen on our roads. And let me admit that there are many bikes ridden by policemen with passengers without helmet. And these are some of the unfortunate things that I see that makes me worry about this country we call Ghana. When your policeman is riding his motorbike with a passenger who does not have a helmet. These are so counter to what should be the case. So I'm hoping that we'll all open our eyes as it is and call to order the ordinary people, because we have rules already in the system governing stopping for pedestrians. What you do for pedestrians or for green light, red light is not necessarily being changed by this bill. Have we enforced it in the past? How are we going to enforce the old rules of engagement already in existence? So I think Probeo ended on that note, that granted that this bill has been done in a bipartisan manner, what happens to the enforcement? Okay, so I'll leave it as that. And it's much to do really about nothing, really. I think so.
Okay. Well, finally, let me come to you, Dr. Friye. You, as a regular citizen, like all Ghanaians will be, is the legalization of Okada one thing that you would be for?
I think we for some time now, something happened. We all sat aloof, not doing anything before it got out of hand. And that is why it has become necessary for the government of the day to initiate this kind of passing this. But I don't know whether Okada, we have this Pragia, we have this, all of them are included. Because the way they have become a nuisance on our road. So if the law is passed and that will make them disciplined, I think we all will go for it. At the same time, we also have to look at how the other aspect of employment, I think that is what mostly the government was looking at, because we all realize that the way people is giving job opportunities for people, companies that are importing these kind of motorcycles, and also the lower class people are mostly involved, especially the rural settings. I think it has been helpful, especially in the rural settings where the roads are not good. So we need a kind of regulations, because when you go to these our motor whatever acts, you realize that there are no regulations for these kind of tricycles or these things. So even when you send them to court, it becomes very difficult to even use the law to. So it mostly tend to the prerogative of the judge to use any other ways to make ruling. But I think coming up with this, regulating them, at the same time also ensuring that the age, Abra, you can realize that sometimes you see these kind of people riding these Okada and realize, you ask yourself whether they are of age to ride those kind of cycles. But I believe now their age will be in, and you need to have a license and these things. I think it will help a lot in regulating and also ensuring that there's sanity. But my main concern as a person is because if they will be disciplined, these bill that or the law that will come out of the amendment will make them disciplined on our roads. I think it's all, and we also need to look at their intrusion maybe to the city, because here in Kumasi and other, I think the Kumasi, the center, there are certain places that they don't allow them to enter because of the way they drive and do their things. These things, because when you go to other countries, they have some road sections for them. If they don't have, but they have certain areas that they have demarcated for this. When you go to offensive, when you go to certain areas in our community outskirts, it is widely used, and I think it could be helpful for our local economy as well as the city, some part of our city settings or our community.
Doc, thank you so much for your time. Dr. Dixon Adomaku-Kisi, we are most grateful for your time this morning. Dr. Samuel Efriye, thank you so much. We look forward to speaking with you the more. Doc, when will we see you come into the studio from Kumasi? Dr. Efriye.
Oh, I'll be coming out. When I come, I'll let you know.
All right. Dr. Adomaku, we'll also be looking forward to seeing you in studio. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Please do enjoy the rest of your day. Earlier, we had with us Professor Titus Bayu, the MP for Lambusi, Dr. Samuel Efriye, political scientist at the Kumasi Technical University, and Dr. Dixon Adomaku-Kisi, former MP for Anya. So that's all for our main discussion today on ABC in the Morning. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll bring you more on the show. Don't go anywhere.
Magic pepper and onion, a delicious tomato mix with tomato, pepper and onion. No grinding, no blending. Ya yenina da da da. So pa mediane no abin.
Come on, Gino, do your magic.
And papa no kunu abefi.
Tasty magic.
Gino Magic Pepper and Onion. The magic that brings them home.
This advert is FDA approved.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, let me see you. My friend, see before.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto chiaka. Inti ene, uno ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh no abeka. You did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Welcome back. It's time to hear what you two have to say on Ghana Speaks, and so you can call us on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. So many conversations today. Bandai, we've talked about it. We've also talked about we've also talked about the Okada legalization. We've looked at the bill about the OSP. Share your thoughts with us. Let's hear what you two have to say. Share your thoughts with us. President Mahama requesting that the majority leader and the majority chief whip withdraw this private members bill against the removal or the repeal of the act that establishes the office of the special prosecutor. You can call us and share your thoughts with us. Okada legalization, is it the way to go? Is that what we need as a country? You can call us and share your thoughts with us. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Please call us and share your thoughts with us. Would love to hear from you on all of these conversations. 053-916-1609. Call us and share your thoughts with us on these conversations. We'd love so much to hear what you two have to say on these matters. Call us 053-916-1609. There are those who really do not appreciate that President Mahama is requesting that the majority leader and the majority chief whip withdraw this case from withdraw this private members bill. The president has already said that it is too premature to change, to ask for the removal of the office. Well, share your thoughts with us. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Call us and share your thoughts with us. Call us and share your thoughts with us. The Coalition for Integrity in Governance Ghana has left a message, has left a comment on our page. This is a statement from them, and their statement is to the Speaker of Parliament. They want to inform the general public that they have formally submitted a petition to the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament concerning the recent misconduct of certain minority members of Parliament following the Clerk to Parliament's official communication to the Electoral Commission regarding the declaration of the Pandai seat. It's quite a lengthy one. I will read it after this caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Clifford from Ashari.
Clifford, let's hear you.
Okay, I'm calling to talk about the Okada legalization right now.
Okay.
And it's something good the government is trying to do. I'm happy for that.
Okay. You are happy about that. Are you an Okada rider yourself?
Yeah. My brother is an Okada rider.
Okay, so you're happy about that?
Yeah.
All right, Clifford. Thank you so much for calling and sharing your thoughts with us. Well, Clifford is for the legalization of Okada. Let's hear what you two have to say. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Call us and share your thoughts with us. Let's hear what you two have to say on all of these conversations. I'll go back to the comment I was reading from this group. They say that Config Ghana, as a coalition of concerned citizens, civil society organizations, and governance advocates, is committed to promoting integrity, transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct in public office. The organization actively monitors parliamentary and government processes to ensure that constitutional principles, rule of law, and good governance standards are respected for the benefit of all Ghanaians. The petition addresses the following concerns. The clerk to Parliament acted properly within his constitutional and administrative mandate. Certain minority MPs engaged in shouting, fighting, defying the Speaker's orders, crossing the chamber floor in a manner suggestive of cross-carpeting and attempting to confront the majority leadership. Such misconduct undermines representative democracy, the authority of Parliament, public confidence in democratic institutions, and Ghana's reputation as a model of legislative governance. Citizens, including Config Ghana, are expressing their constitutional right to petition Parliament to ensure accountability, respect for the Speaker, and adherence to standing orders. Config Ghana has further requested that medical reports be obtained for the members who were captured engaging in such misconduct to assess their fitness for parliamentary duties. Config Ghana has called on the Speaker to invoke relevant standing orders to address disorder, contempt, and breach of parliamentary rules, and they refer the matter to the Privileges Committee for a full investigation. Apply appropriate sanctions as provided by the Constitution and standing orders. Take any further steps necessary to uphold the dignity, order, and constitutional integrity of Parliament. And this is the statement. It's quite a lengthy statement, and it is signed the Corporate Affairs Department of Config Ghana. They left this message or this comment under our Facebook page. They've left it quite a couple of times. They've left it in session. That is what they are saying. Well, you two can call us and share your thoughts with us on all of the conversations we've had today. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. You can call us and share your thoughts on all of these matters with us. Would love to hear from you and what you make of the conversations we've been having. Okada legalization, is that the way to go? Will that help us in the country? The Minister for Transport talks about the need to legalize because it will deal with the issue of lack of employment in the country, and so it will deal with unemployment. What do you also make of this? 053-916-1609. Well, but I'll make way for the sports team to bring us the latest in the world of sports. After that, we'll bring you some conversation on executive interview after this break.
Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, let me see you. Wait, this guy. My friend, see before.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto chiaka. Inti ene, uno ba no mpe baby amobeda. Oh, no abeka. You did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Are you an upcoming musician? Do you wish to shoot quality and affordable music videos? And get free 1-month TV promotion? Or do you wish to become an actor or an actress?
If you're interested in being a part of our ongoing TV series and movies, call Potential Films Productions on
0541 162828. That is 0541 162828 to join our ongoing TV series and movies. Potential Films. We believe in quality.
Welcome back. It's time for the latest in the world of sports. Eugene Oforisoti joins me here. What do you have for us, Eugene? It's Friday.
Yeah.
The best day of the week, as people say.
Yeah. Oh, when it's Friday, Namaswa. Friday is the best day of the week for me, especially Friday evening. It settles your soul. On Fridays, even the wind blows different. Everything
really?
On Friday. Yeah. I love Fridays because that means at least I have some 2 days to rest and then
rejuvenate.
Yes, and then start the week again.
All right.
But also, sadly, Friday is closer to Monday as well.
It is. It really is closer to Monday.
So sometimes I'm happy sometimes, but it's very sad that in a few days time, I'll be back where Yeah. So today on our morning show, we have a lot to discuss. We'll be talking about, of course, the AFCON is coming up. A few nations have released their squad. Also yesterday, the sports fund bill was also laid on the floor in Parliament for the first reading, and then as well as there were some European actions yesterday. We would review those games as well.
And that's quite a lot.
And then we'll also preview this weekend's games. So we'll start off the morning show with the sports segment on the morning show with from Parliament, where yesterday the sports minister, the Honorable Kofi Adams, laid before Parliament the sports fund bill for its first reading. Let's take a listen. We'll get that video shortly for you, but the Honorable Kofi Adams revealed that sports fund bill was supposed to transform the funding landscape for all sporting disciplines in Ghana, and what that fund will do is that it will to sponsor all those least or lesser finance sports in order to give them some solid funding to be able to compete. Because we realized that over the last few years, some of these major or lesser finance federations are unable to participate in these competitions, particularly because of a lack of funding. So the government, in their charged to remedy that situation are setting up the sports fund bill, and that fund the bill was laid before Parliament yesterday for the first reading. We'll get you that video when it's ready. But let's head to the 2026 World Cup, where the tickets prices have been announced for Ghana's group stage games, and we'll get that for you on our screens. There you have it. So Ghana versus Panama is the first game on 17th of June 2026, and it's the highest ticket price, which is the category 1, goes for $450, and at the current cedi to dollar rate, it's 5,145 cedis. The second ticket price is the category 2 is $380, and at the current dollar rate is 4,345 cedis. And the last category, or the cheapest category for the World Cup group stage game between Ghana and Panama is $140, which is at the current cedi rate 1,600 cedis. So the cheapest ticket you can afford now, if you buy a ticket today, is 1,600 cedis for Ghana Panama. Remember that in our group stage game, that's the first game, and that's the lowest price, or the lowest rank side you will ever meet in the group stage. So the cheapest price you would ever get in the group stage is $1,600 for category 3 tickets for Ghana Panama. Now when you go to Ghana versus England, which is one of the biggest games in the group stage, or arguably the biggest game, the ticket prices go up. Even the lowest category now goes to 2,515 Ghana cedis, which is $220.
Okay.
And then for category 2 for Ghana England is $430. That is 4,916 cedis. And also the highest price for that in the Ghana England is $600, which is $6,860. Then for the Ghana Croatia game, which is on the 27th of June 2026, it's $500 for category 1, which is 5,717, and then $400 for the category 2, which goes for 4,570 there. So that's it for Ghana's group stage games. The ticket prices have been released, and as of now we know how much you would have to afford, and we know that with the cedi to dollar rate, it fluctuates. So at the moment it's quite cheaper, and so if you have your funds, you can afford to purchase your tickets now. Pretty much expensive there, but those who can afford well, and those who are in the US, Canada, and Mexico with a few of their dollars, they could also afford. But still speaking on the World Cup, we are still speaking about potential nationality switches. Let's head to the Netherlands, where there is a player there called Ernest Poku. He plays for Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. He just joined the club from the Dutch side AZ Alkmaar, and Poku featured a few times for them in the Champions League and in the Bundesliga. He's eligible to play for Ghana because both of his parents are Ghanaians. Here's an interview where he was asked about the potential nationality switch for Ghana heading to the World Cup.
You have a chance to play for Ghana, but you're born and raised in the Netherlands. Ghana is going to the World Cup. If you get a chance to represent Ghana, would you take it?
We have to see. I don't know yet, because I didn't get a call or something, so I don't know.
But would you take it if you get a call?
I don't know. We will see then, because then obviously I have to talk with my parents about it, with my agent about it, so I don't know.
But how connected are you to Ghana? Do you love the food? Do you listen to the music?
Yes, of course. I love the food. I love the music. My parents also from Ghana, so I can also speak Ghana. So.
Oh wow, you can speak Chui.
Yes. Oh, Boko.
Oh wow, fantastic.
Yes.
Let's talk about African music. I mean, a lot of African artists. Nigeria, I've got Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido. Ghana, I've got Shatta Wale, Stonebwoy.
Yes.
Who are your favorites?
Burna Boy, but he's from Nigeria.
Yes.
Burna Boy is good. Davido is good. Shatta Wale is also good. So yeah, I think them.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
That was Ernest Poku there, speaking on the possibility of a nationality switch. According to him, no one has communicated anything to him at the moment. Ernest was born in Hamburg, Germany,
but he lived most parts of his life in the Netherlands. So he's eligible to play for Germany, he's eligible to play for the Netherlands, and then also both of his parents are Ghanaians, and so he's eligible to play for Ghana. So 3 of the countries that have qualified to the World Cup, Ernest Poku is eligible to play for them: Ghana, Germany, and the Netherlands. According to him, Ghana hasn't
caller for any of the 3.
No, he hasn't featured for. He has featured for Netherlands under 20 teams. They are youth teams, under 19, under 21s. But he's yet to feature for their main team. He's not featured for Germany in any way or form.
But Ghana, are we still looking at having people naturalized to come and play for us?
I don't think it's a conversation that we've exhausted yet, and I don't think it's something Otuado has exhausted.
Okay.
I think the only thing for him was if he called a player before and the player rejected,
he's not going back.
Yes, but the point is, he said if he has not invited you, he can invite you, and Poku has confirmed to us that he has not been invited, and so it means that there's a possibility that he could be invited. He's also in some good run of form for Bayer Leverkusen, so we could see the possibility of him joining, because we are lacking in strikers. Now let's head to the AFCON. Yesterday as well, 2 nations released their final squad list. Let's head to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They've released their AFCON squad list. It's got the nation talking. For their goalkeepers, they've got Stanley Wabali. Francis Uzoho returns to the national team camp after a few years of absence. Remember that he was replaced by Maduka Okoye at some point, and then later on Stanley Wabali. So Uzoho makes a return to the list. Amos Obasogi is also in that list, and the big one is that Maduka Okoye does not make it to the squad list. We do not know immediately what happens, but media reports indicate that Maduka Okoye has got the feeling that he will not start because Stanley Wabali is in that list, and so once he knows he's not starting, his place at Udinese is up for grabs, because he was a starting goalkeeper at the beginning of the season. Then he went through some injuries and then also a ban due to certain breaches of their Italian football regulations, and so he's lost his number 1 spot. He wants to consolidate his grip on the number 1 spot at Udinese, his club side, and once the number 1 spot for the Nigerian Super Eagles isn't guaranteed for him, he has opted to not be part of the final 28-man squad. For the defenders, there's Calvin Bassey, there's Zaidu Sanusi, there's Shemi Ajayi, who missed the penalty for Nigeria, which prevented them from qualifying to the Intercontinental World Cup playoff spot next year. There's Bruno Onyemaechi, there's Igo Ogbu, there's Chibezi Awaziam, there's Bright Osai Samuel, and there's Ryan Alebioso. So the big one is that Ola Aina, because he's still injured, doesn't make it to the Super Eagles final squad for the defenders. Also remember that William Chustekon also isn't part of this list, particularly because he himself, the skipper for the team and the last AFCON's best player of the tournament, decided to call it a quits just before the AFCON. He retired last week. Then for the midfielders, there's Wilfred Ndidi, there's Frank Onyeka, there's Fisa Yodele Bashiru, there's Mohamed Usman, there's Alex Iwobi, there's Ebenezer Akinsamiro, and there's Raphael Onyedika, and there's Tokuchu Inandi. And so for the forwards, there's Ademola Lookman, there's Victor Osimhen, there's Akko Adams, there's Samuel Chukwueze, and the big one is Cyril Dessers. After the ill treatment the NFF gave him in their last few games, he makes a return to the squad list for the AFCON. There's Salim Fago, there's Moses Simon, there's Chidera Ejuke, and there's Paul Onuachu. That means that there's no place for Victor Boniface, there's no place for other players like Taiwo Awoni, there's no place for players like Kelechi Iheanacho, there's no place for their former skipper as well in the team for the Super Eagles. From the Super Eagles, let's head to the other Eagles. So the Eagles of Mali, they've also released their squad list. Coach Tom Seinfeld released the squad list. For the goalkeepers, there's Jigu Diarra, who plays for Young Africans in Tanzania, there's Ismail Diawara, and there's Mamadou Samasa. For the defenders, there's Siku Niakate, who plays for Braga in Portugal. There's Abdoulaye Diaby, who plays for Grasshopper in Switzerland. There's Woyo Koulibaly, who plays for Sassuolo in the Italian Serie A. There's Fode Dokoro, who plays for Le Havre in the French Ligue 1. Hamari Traoré, their original skipper, he now moved from Real Sociedad to Paris FC this season. He makes a return to the squad list after a long-term ACL injury. There's Nathan Gassama, who plays for Batlika Kaliningrad. There's Mamadou Fofana, who plays for New England Evolution. There's Ousmane Kamara, who plays for Angers in France. And there is Amadou Dante, who plays for Aruka FC. For the midfielders, Amadou Haidar, RB Leipzig, makes a return to the squad list. Lassana Koulibaly of Lecce from Italy makes the squad list. Mohamed Kamara of Al Sadd makes the squad list. Mamadou Sangare of Lens in France makes the squad list. Aliou Deng of Al Ahly from Egypt makes the squad list. Tottenham's Yves Bissouma, after being frozen out of the Tottenham Hotspur squad list for a long time, makes it to the squad list for the AFCON. Mahamadou Doumbia from Al Ittihad also makes the squad list. Ibrahim Masisoko of Bochum in the Bundesliga also makes the squad list. For the attackers, Nene Dorgeles of Fenerbahce from Turkey makes the squad list. Gausu Diarra of Feyenoord makes the squad list. Mamadou Kamara of Laval makes the squad list. Kamara Doumbia of Stade Brestois in France makes the squad list. And El Bilal Toure, who moved from Atalanta to Besiktas, also makes the squad list. Mamadou Doumbia of Watford makes the squad list. Lassina Sinayoko of AJ Auxerre makes the squad list. And Gausu Diakite of Osene Sport makes the squad list. So that's it for the AFCON squad list. Nigeria and Mali have released their AFCON squad list. So both teams released their final 28 squad list. By Monday, all the countries should have released their final list, because that's the deadline for all the 24 participating teams to release their final list for the AFCON. So on Monday, we'll give you that. Remember that we also have an exclusive interview with Mali's head coach Tom Seifert. We'll bring you that interview for Monday next week. Let's head to the Europa Conference League, where Crystal Palace beat Shabon FC by 3-0 in the Europa Conference League. The goals were from Edin Ketia and Christantus Uche, who also missed out on the Super Eagles final squad list. Let's hear from Edin Ketia after he scored yesterday.
I love to score goals, whether it's a tap in a screamer, so I'm just happy to be scoring goals and winning games.
How important is it, mate, with keeping that momentum going? Obviously the message from the gaffer is being relentless, but for you boys as well, I've got to go out there game after game. How important is the recovery for you boys, and obviously making sure that you keep putting out performances like this?
Yeah, I think obviously we work, you know how hard we work in training, so we're all ready, whether we're playing on the bench, you know, when we get our time, we all know we can contribute and help the team. So I think we're in a good run at the moment. We've got, listen to the fans here, they're excellent, so yeah, we just got to keep going and keep pushing.
And how far ahead do you think you guys can go? Sitting fourth in the Premier League, obviously you've climbed the table tonight in Europe as well. FA Cup winners, Charity Shield winners, there's no ceiling to this team and where you can end up.
We have to keep believing, you know, with God anything's possible. So yeah, if we keep working hard how we are, you know, we got a chance, and you know, we want to go all the way in this competition. It's a lovely competition and a great.
So that was Edin Ketia. I remember that Edin Ketia is also in the news for a possibility of a nationality switch. So let's see how that goes. He's now in a good goal scoring form. He scored last week. He scored also yesterday. So he's building on his numbers. Let's see whether that will convince head coach Otuado to rescind his earlier decision and call it. Let's head to the Europa League, where Aston Villa went away to Switzerland to face off against Basel. They went away as 2-1 winners, beating Basel at home. Let's hear from one of their midfielders, Yuri Tillemans.
Congratulations. How pleased are you to come away tonight with the victory?
Very pleased. It's a tough place to come to play. Pitch was not the best, and I think you could see it in our game. It wasn't as fluent as what we can be. I think we could have done better in certain phases of the game, but to come home and go home with a win is really good.
Obviously, you watched the first half from the bench. When you come on at half time, it took 8 minutes, I think, before you put that one in the bottom corner. Incredible composure. What's going through your head when the ball drops to you right on the edge of the box?
Nothing really. Just try and hit it on target. The space was there for me to shoot it at the first post. So yeah, try to place it, keep it as low as possible for the goalkeeper. And obviously, first half, the first goal they conceded as well, it was on that side. So.
Well, so that was Yuri Tillemans speaking there after Aston Villa beat FC Basel by 2-1. Well, there will be a couple of games in the English Premier League as well. We'll get you those fixtures on the list. So Chelsea tomorrow take on Everton. Chelsea have been winning in their last 2 games in the Premier League. They would have to win against Everton at home. Liverpool take on Brighton at Anfield. Burnley take on Fulham. Arsenal take on Wolves at 8 p.m. Then on Sunday, Crystal Palace sit at home at Selhurst Park to face off against Manchester City. Tottenham Hotspurs travel to Nottingham to face off against Nottingham Forest. Sunderland in the Tyneside derby for the first time in a long while face off against Newcastle, West Ham United host Aston Villa, Brentford host Leeds United, and on Monday, Bournemouth with Antoine Semenyo travel to face off against Manchester United. So that's it for match week 16. Also, that marks the end of the sports segment today on ABC in the morning.
There's a lot going to happen in the week.
Exactly.
And this afternoon, you bring us build-up.
The build-up show where we preview all of these games, the Ghana Premier League, the Bundesliga, and the Serie A as well.
We'll be looking forward to that. Thank you, Suti, for bringing us the latest in the world of sports. That's all for sports. We'll take a break. When we return, we have an executive interview with a group that has something interesting coming up. Stay with us.
Jollof. Oh, Kwame. You know our secret, right?
Yeah.
Efia.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Gino Jollof mix. The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana Jollof.
Jollof so good.
Jollof so good. Tasty, yeah.
What is going on here?
Enjoy Jollof the Ghana way. Gino Jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This advert is FDA approved.
Rent back with the beer open. Come on, come see you. Wait, this guy. My friend, see before.
It's the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Win cash daily, weekly, and a grand prize of 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Just reload or buy a bundle with Telecel Cash to earn points and stand a chance to win big. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to opt in and start winning in the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
When is campaign? If you're a baby, many schedule no. If you know, meto etiaka. Inti ene, uno banu mumpe baby amubeda. Oh, no abeka. You did too much money. No matter.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Welcome back. You're still watching ABC in the morning. Today we have an executive interview, and there's a program coming up, something that's promises to be vibely. There's a party, and already we are in the festive season. When we enter into December, it's time to kick back, relax, take your time, spend time with your friends and family. And how best to do that if not at a party? There's a party called Asanka Party, and Kofi Entry is part of the team for Asanka Party. He joins me here. We can appreciate Asanka Party and know what it's about. Kofi, thank you for coming. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Asanka Party, what is it about? What are we supposed to appreciate about it?
Okay, so Asanka Party, just like any other party, seeking to bring people together,
okay,
to make merry and have fun. But what's special about us is to have people in a special place,
okay,
with tradition and culture, enjoying delicious meals, Ghanaian cuisine, basically. So when you hear of Asanka, what comes in mind?
Oh, what we grind the pepper in. I, for one, love to eat in an Asanka when it's angwamu.
Oh, okay.
Or when it's ampesi.
Okay.
And then kontomire that I've grinded, or pepper with granules that I've grinded. So that's Asanka for me.
That's Asanka for you?
Yes.
I mean, a few people would agree with you on that, but largely when you hear Asanka,
communal.
Yes, Asanka is communal, and again, it's fufu.
It's fufu.
Yes, Asanka is largely fufu, but we that's what the center of it is about.
The party is about.
Yes, so enjoying good fufu with good friends, good vibes.
Okay.
Having a relaxation period to wind back, relax and enjoy good company, basically. So
Asanka is all about fufu. This is Asanka party.
Yes, it's about fufu, Ghanaian cuisine.
Okay.
And then networking, basically.
Oh,
so
that's nice. So when is it happening? You know, there's so many networking events.
Yes.
When is Asanka party happening? Why should I be there? Because if there are other networking events I could be at, why should I be at Asanka party?
Yeah. So Asanka has the aim of bringing together corporates, creatives, professionals, and so the worth of people that you are likely to meet. You are likely to meet your boss there. Yeah, exactly.
And share an Asanka fufu with my boss.
Exactly. So the worth of people that you are likely to meet at Asanka, that is what should draw you to come.
All right.
And then that's what we build on. We are building a community that have people to be free in a certain environment.
Okay.
So and it's happening on the 13th of this month.
Okay.
That's this Saturday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes, at the 1957 bar.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are just relating it with the culture, 1957, Asanka.
Right.
So that's it. It's around East Legon.
Okay.
East Legon.
So I should just come and eat fufu, come and connect with people that I can relate with.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's nice. And how much will it cost to attend Asanka party?
So we are. I mean, we want to even make it free. It's eventually free.
Okay.
But you just pay a token of 300 cedis if you're an individual.
Okay.
For everything, you get to enjoy meals, drinks, water, everything. Unlimited
fufu.
Yes, unlimited.
With proteins.
With good proteins. We have fish, we have meat, we have goats, everything. Dried fish. Dry fish with sorted soups.
Okay.
Assorted soups, and so if you're an individual, you can do 300. If you are a couple or in twos, you can do the package for 500. And we encourage groups because we are trying to form a community. So we encourage groups. If you're a group, you can do 900 for a group of 4.
Okay.
So that's how the package is.
Oh, it's really slashed down.
Yes. We are trying to encourage people. I mean, the main goal is for us to meet and form that community, get that sense of commune.
Okay.
And network, share ideas. I mean, when creatives find themselves in an open space, they get to explore and
is this the first edition of Asanka party?
No. So we've had 3 editions in this year. We are trying to put together every quarter. Yes. So this year we've been able to put up 3 editions, and this is the 3rd edition. That's happening. This is the December edition.
The December edition.
That's the December edition. Yes, you can.
Well, interesting. So, for groups that want to attend Asanka party, it's tomorrow.
Yes.
How do they get in touch with the team?
So, we have an online ticket platform.
Okay.
It's Jambo. It has a link that I'll share with you. Either than that, you can contact any of us. We'll put out the numbers too.
Okay.
But you can follow us on any of our socials. The Asanka Party on Instagram, Asanka Party on TikTok and Facebook. All the socials are active. So
okay. Well, the QR code is on the page. I'm sure anybody with a phone can just take a picture of it and then get to the page itself.
Yes. I mean, this QR code takes you to the ticket where you can buy the ticket.
All right.
So we have the 300, the 500, and the 900. Okay. So the 900 for a group of 4. So I mean, we would encourage everyone to be there, starting at 12
in the afternoon.
And then
dinner at
I mean, fufu, anytime, but we are trying to there's enjoyment throughout. We have a live band that would be playing alongside a DJ set too. So we'll be there throughout the evening till we are done.
Till we are done?
Yes.
That's nice. Kofi Antwi, thank you so much for coming and sharing a Asanka Fufu party with us. So for those of us who are interested, those of us who love fufu, the fufu that we eat, fufu evokes a lot of good memories. Yes. For those of us who love fufu, tomorrow is the day 13th of December 2025 at 1957 Lounge in East Legon. You say, with 300 CDs, you can eat unlimited fufu. Go with your friends, your family, your loved ones, with your group, your work groups. It's a time for connecting with other people, connecting with creatives and all. You're invited to the Asanka party. Kofi Antwi tells us that if we go on Instagram and all socials at Asanka party, we will find them and interact with them. Tomorrow from 12 p.m. up until the night, there'll be a lot of music, a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment. Start your enjoyment early. You can start from tomorrow at the Asanka party. Kofi, again, thank you for coming and sharing Asanka party with that. And that's how we end today's show here on ABC in the morning. A big thank you to Joseph Achuhomaji, the National President of the Federation of Disability Organization, to Professor Titus Bayo, MP for Lambu, Samuel Lefree, a political scientist at the Kumasi Technical University, and Dr. Dixon Adomaku Kisi, former MP for Anyaso Otum, and to Kofi Antwi of Asanka Fufu Party for joining me here today on the show. Most grateful to you. And also to you, my viewers. There's no ABC in the morning without you, and I cannot say thank you enough. But before I go, I nearly forgot and I would have been in trouble. I have happy hour. Let me wish this very lovely lady a happy birthday. This is going to Bridget Ejapuma Amwakwata, and it's coming from our very own Khadija Isifu. Khadija says, a happy birthday to you, Bridget. The heavens smiled on us the day our paths crossed. You are the blood Ghana Institute of Journalism injected into my heart. Happy birthday to my friend and the woman whose continuous faith in me has fueled my growth. I love you, Mama. That's a very sweet message from Khadija. Khadija, when it's my birthday, I'll also be expecting such a sweet message from you to me. Khadija, I'll be expecting that. But happy birthday to Bridget Abene Japoma Mwakwanta from Khadija Isifu. She loves you so much and she wishes you the very best. And to everybody who celebrates their birthday, a happy birthday to you. Again, thank you to my viewers. We're most grateful to you that you joined. There's no ABC in the morning without you. At 12 p.m., Peggy Nyakwa Bano will come your way with the midday news. You don't want to miss out on it. And later in the day, the sports team will bring you build up. You don't want to miss out on that too at all. It's a weekend. Take the time, relax, have fun, enjoy it with your friends and your family. You can make your way to East Legon for the Asanka Fufu party at 12 p.m. tomorrow. But all in all, I'll remind you what I always remind you of. Keep your head up. Do not give up. Have faith, have hope, and do not relent in your pursuit of happiness. A big thank you to the production and technical team for putting together today's show. I am ABENA Mante. I wish you the very best of your Friday. Enjoy.